Good to be with you again today. We have some exciting news that we hope you already know, but if you don't know yet, this weekend we will just have one worship service. That worship service will be Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. We're hoping to have a lot of people here that Sunday morning for this unified worship service. Because sometimes if you have multiple worship services, you also end up with multiple congregations. And we need to come together once in a while, remind ourselves we're just one community of faith, one congregation, one unit trying to make a difference in this world. So again, this Sunday is what we're calling Rally Sunday, one worship service at 10 o'clock on Sunday, and we hope that you'll be able to join us. We're going to have a lot of special music. We're going to have fun with the kids, and then we're also going to have some dancing. So please come and see what's going on. So also for this Sunday morning, one of our scripture readings, we'll have a number of them. One of our scripture reading is going to be the feeding of the 5,000 in the Gospel of John. And I've been thinking a lot about that, what it really means in a larger sense. You know, in modernity, the age we live in, knowledge is power. Those who have knowledge also seem to have power. Knowledge is what we seek to make the solutions to our problems. But also we live in this information age in which we would think that knowledge is all around us, but we're finding in the information age all we have is information. That knowledge doesn't necessarily follow. That in fact, we have so much information it makes us passive, makes us inept. So what does this have to do with the feeding of the 5,000? Well, in the Gospel of John, it's all about knowledge. Gospel of John you could call is the gospel knowledge. It is about the way, the truth, and the life. So the feeding of the 5,000, one of the things that story tells us in the Gospel of John is it tells us about the end of human knowledge. It tells us about the disabilities of the human knowledge, about the ends of human knowledge. Human knowledge alone would not have been able to feed 5,000 people. It tells us about love's knowledge. The end of our knowledge generally brings us to despair. But it also seems to be that the end of our knowledge will take us to love's knowledge. That love's knowledge is always enough, where our own is rarely enough. And the feeding of the 5,000 tells us that not enough is not the final answer. That not enough is not where the gospel stops. Not enough is our knowledge. Love's knowledge is there's always enough. And when you think about it, okay? When you think about your own particular calling in your life, regardless of what your calling is for, right? I can think of my own calling towards pastoral ministry. My own knowledge is not enough to make it happen. Your particular calling, what God calls you to in your community, in your life, your own knowledge is not enough to fulfill that call. Okay? If it was, we wouldn't call it a call. Okay? A call is always going to involve God, and it's going to involve love's knowledge. It's only with love's knowledge can you fulfill your call. So this is it. That sometimes we're not always aware of our limitations. Sometimes we think that we're so smart we can figure out anything. That we're so smart and knowledgeable that we can solve all the problems. But when we rely too heavily on ourselves, we always come up with the answer, there's not enough. Not enough food to feed people. Not enough medicine to heal people. Not enough time or not enough homes to make sure everybody has a place to stay. But if we can incorporate love's knowledge into our own, it's then that we'll be able to fulfill our calling. It's then that we will begin to make disciples of Jesus Christ, which is the mission of the United Methodist Church. So be in contact with love's knowledge this week, and let it move you on.